Assalamualaikum, and I hope everyone doing well. Today I'm going to present you letter industry presentation. So first of all is my name. My name is Muhammad Amir bin Razali, and here is my matriculation number 14DET18F2065, and I'm from class DET 5D. So I intern at Ngachong Metal Industry, or best known as NCMI. As you can see here, this is NCMI. So, company background. What is NCMI do? It's found in 1967, grow as global leading manufacturer stamping metal. First of all, they used to make air conditioner part, but in 2001 they start on automotive sector and they do auto lift pipe. So as you can see here, here is NCMI locations. 35 minutes from Panasonic, 60 minutes to Westport, to KL East 40 minutes, and to KL City 40 minutes. So here is the organization chart. As you can see here, non-operation, finance, HR. We have, and in operation part we have material, quality, engineering, and production. So, and here is the part that NCMI produce. Over here you can see this is air conditioner pipe, and from over here you can see automotive pipe, or we call auto lift. So here is auto lift pipe, and here is the air conditioner part. To make it more specific, you can see here which pipe that we do. For aircon, mostly we do for compressor and also for the tank. And here is the layout of NCMI. As you can see here, here is maintenance department, is where I work. And here all the machine that have in NCMI. We have a single press machine, mostly 110 tons. We have medium press, about 250 tons. We have progressive press, about 400 tons, and now we have the new one is 600 tons. And here the transfer press, or what they like to call is robot, which means the machine works itself. No operators need to use, the operator only just press the button to turn on. So over here you can see here the secondary machine part. We have right here the plating, welding, spot welding, and multi-taping machine. Here is the welding center, and here is the taping center. Here the progressive machine usually used at auto lift pipe for making this pipe, crimping, ball trap, and welding. Also we use to weld the nuts over here, as you can see here. And here is all the crimping machine to press the tie bar. So here is my first month work. So in the first week, we have orientation, maintenance checklist. For the second week, third week is we make a steel cage. Fourth week is we learn about basic electrical device, and the fifth is the product review, which the other company came to our company and they show us the product and we review them. And for the second week, we change the seal. We do a brake clutch. We also have a second product review. We have a maintenance job, which means a breakdown, or there's some machine has been broken, so we need to attend. And we also learn about protector device. And for the third week is we have a new project, which means I will explain you to later. We also change AC motor, and here is the new project. Fourth week also same thing. So the new project was the trick check machine, and as you can see here, this one we were testing. We also have a restoration project, which is conveyor. To this we do, and here is the vision sensor, which means the vision sensor is the product that we review. So here is the product that we already buy. And the fifth week is we learn about the vision sensor, which I will explain to you later, and also the trick check machine. So as you can hear the picture, me and my friend, we intern together. Here is when we learn where we learn about protected device, we learn about counter relay, and here is the items that we learned. We really have a good supervisor that teach us every single component. He teaches for the first 2 weeks before he send us on the site. So this is me, try to learning, and this is when we do a product review. So now the second one we install the sensor, we reposition the CCTV because back then we have foreign workers, so they sit in the hostel which behind the factory. So before that was Deepavali day, so we want to monitor them, so we reposition the CCTV so the boss can see them what are they doing. And here is the overload, which means we will refill oil at the stepping machine. To here Deepavali holiday. For the second week, we learn about vision sensor, and I learned about schedule waste. I go to schedule waste training, which NCMI provide us to go for 2 days. And for the last day is a just roller feeder that the coil we fit to the stepping machine. Here is the 2 week. We install a key reset, vision, and counter. We a lot do about vision sensor and the trick check machine. And here is the last week. For second month is we recently the conveyor that we have installed. We take out the overload system for 3 days and we put it back for the last day. So here is the work. Here is when I refill the overload system. Here is when I install the sensor. Here is when I do the vision sensor, and here is when I install or I open the board cup, which I will explain to you later. Here is the statement. As you can see here, a lot of times I spend for making that machine, trick check machine and vision sensor machine. I only attend when have a minor breakdown like jump start a forklift or change a light bulb. So here is the third week picture. This is the trick check machine. I will explain to you later. This is my first time welding, which is very interesting and very fun. Thank you for Mr. Asadul teach me. And as you can see here, this is trick check machine, trick check machine, trick check machine. We do a lot of this machine. So here is the fourth month. As you can see now, we are focusing on the vision sensor for the first week, second week, third week, and fourth week. And here is the picture. As you can see now, this is also the trick check machine. And now here, I'm focusing on the vision sensor. So this is the last week, which was last week. Here is the first week, the vision sensor. This one is Chinese New Year, and as you can see, the last week we're making a lot of vision sensor. We're monitoring and testing, teaching, which I will explain to you. So here is the picture. This is our last day. We also have 2 packaging, which they don't have. We become runner, they don't have. We need to support. So now I will explain to you about vision sensor project. So why we create this vision sensor project? Because back then in autolift is a very sensitive part, which require sharp eye to see whether the part is okay or not. So usually we use as operator's eye, which means they see whether it's okay or not, but it's a human, so they have a human error. So that's why the NCMI want to use a machine or a sensor to see this part whether it's okay or not, which is about 90% precise. So here, as you can see, the first step is we have a product view, and the boss want to use a Kenya sensor, so we ask a Kenya's person to teach us and show us what is the product. So once we know what is the product we are buying, we learn about the product. We cannot just use it and put it on the side. We need to learn first. So right here, this is IV2 vision sensor. Have monitor, control panel, and the sensor. So right here you can see that I'm trying to learn how to program it and to teach the sensor which part is okay and which part is NG. NGs mean not good. So the third step is once we know how is the vision sensor work, we can start doing wiring and program. We program on a PLC, we're using Mitsubishi PLC program. And right here you can see my friend also trying to learn. This is my supervisor trying to teach, and he also learning how to use this sensor. While we're learning, another engineer we try to do the drawing and figure out how this machine are going to work. So now we already know, we already get the design. The engineer already think about how it's going to work, so we can start doing all the wiring. The first step was we doing the wiring at the control panel. We use a white duct or casing. As you can see here, PLC, power supply, MCCB, and the control panel for the vision sensor. And we make it tightly because end of the project, the boss will want to see how the result. So of course we need to make it nicely. And after that, we start doing a reject bin. We use a pneumatic tubing, pneumatic device, and we try testing a lot. Here you can see here how the machines work. So the machine enter over, the part enter over here. Here inside here for the camera. If it's a reject, we go straightly inside the reject bin. If not, we go pass through to another operator, and then the operator will put inside the packaging. So step 6, we already made all the machine, we already test it, now we can put it on site. But even when we are putting it on site, we cannot just leave it there. We need to monitor it for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and maybe there's a new part, a new defect on the part, so we need to teach back inside the vision sensor. As you can see here, here is my supervisor, and here is the engineer in charge of this project. So that is about a vision sensor. So the second project is treat check machine. So as you can see here, we're using drill to make the treat check machine. Treat check is when the nuts, and we want to check the nut treat whether it's good or bad. So the first idea was we want to use the tapping, but we use cordless because it's much more cheaper and easy to program inside the PLC. So that's why the first step was we are planning. So the second step, when we know we are going to use cordless, and of course we want to use a conveyor, but due to the budget cuts that the company give us, so we restore an old conveyor and make it new. It's a very fun experience for us, especially for my friends. It's a very old conveyor, very rusty, but I think we make a job done. And here is the design of the treat check machine. So before we buy and wait for the item to come to us, so Mr. Sadul here is what we call a master of welding, master of cut stitch. So we cut all part and prefabricates everything before the items that we buy came to us. So as you can see here, here is the treat check machine. Here the drill, the holder, and here is when we put the parts, which means they go forward and then retract back. All here using PLC program and pneumatic system. And once we get all the parts, cut all the steel, we start doing this project. As you can see here, we install tower lights, and we still monitor for 2 weeks before we run production normally. So the last project was the ball cup seal change. Why I put this project inside here? Because it was challenging. This is mostly mechanical stuff, and as you can see here, Mr. Safwan, he is one of the greatest mechanical engineer inside NCMI. So he the one that teach us how to change a ball cup. So first we monitor and open the shaft to take out this ball cup because the oil keeps spilling at the die. So once we take out the ball cup, we separate the ball cup to see whether the seal is okay or not. And as you can see here, the seal is broken, so we go to the company that sell the steel, we call them and ask them that they still have the seal. They say they can send it tomorrow. So while waiting the seal, we clean all the sludge that have all the dirty to make it the ball cup runs more smoothly. And once we get the seal, we install back the ball cup and test it we can set it, we can put air inside over here, and if the ball cap lift and stay, which means the seal that we installed is good and the ball cap can be used. And lastly, we use a pulley to lift the ball cap and pull back inside the machine. As you can see here, my supervisor is helping us, and here is Abang Safwan and Mr. Ijan also helping us. So things that I learned in NCMI is, the first one is always be ready to work under pressure. You know, when especially for the ball cap situation, there was a lot of intense moments, there was a lot of shoutings. So we need to be prepared of that, because sometimes there is always have a miscommunication there, and we always take on positive notes. And the second learning is we learn about electrical components and programs and a lot more about electrical. So Mr. Ishak has teach us a lot. Mr. Ishak, what I call is Abang Bob. So Abang Bob teaches a lot before he sent us on site. For 2 weeks he spent his time to teach us about motor control, what is counter for 2 whole weeks, and he will make sure that we get it right before he send us on site. And we learn a lot about more techniques and skill, how to do the work faster, which we never learn at polytechnics, because in polytechnics is different. But when you work at a factory, they always want to do the work faster because they don't want the production to stop. So we learn more about how to wiring faster, how to program faster, and how to think faster. All of that skills has been taught to us. So lastly is conclusion. What is I can conclude about working in NCMI is always be ready to work under pressure, then never stay inside your comfort zone. You need to go outside on your comfort zone. And if you have an idea to have a solution or to settle an argument or a problem, never be afraid to give your opinion, because sometimes your opinion may be the best solution or the best idea that to solve the problem. So that I can conclude today for my presentation, and I hope you are doing well, and I would like to say sorry if I say something wrong, and that's all for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.